Hi, and welcome to UBC's Next Big Thing. I'm Rosemary Jean Thompson, and today we're going to talk about the world of theater here at UBC's campus. And with me is Neil Cadger. He's a professor and the head of the Creative Studies here at UBC.
Yeah, Creative Studies, Department of Creative Studies.
Which is what?
Which is one of the two departments in the Faculty of Creative and Critical Studies. So what we do in Creative Studies is we teach students the visual arts, creative writing, and performance. Some of those students do all three. The performance students actually study visual arts and creative writing, and there's a little bit of a mix of other people, creative writing students doing some of our courses, and some of, it's a bit of a mix.
Wow, so you have to be multi-talented, obviously, to be a part of this.
Well, I think everybody's multi-talented, don't you?
I do. I like the idea that we have theater, performing arts up here.
Oh yeah, it's very important.
Describe what one would study around that topic.
Well,
here.
the main drive of the performance program is what's called devised theater, which means that you're making it yourself. You're devising it. You don't start with an existing script, and although that's a possibility, you can do that. But the main drive is teaching people how to compose their own performances. So that means they write the text, they create the physicality, they create the image, so they're using visual arts skills, they're creating the visual performance, they are performing it themselves, so that's the embodied part, and they're also writing whatever text is to be spoken, so they're doing it all, and that's what we teach them.
It's interesting because I've dropped in on a couple of classes because often we'll do a story around the performing arts and theater, and I've seen things from clowning around to wearing masks and creating a personality and a character out of the masks that you prepare.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's fairly standard theater training. Most people in most theater programs will have some exposure to the use of a mask. It's one of the oldest things that you do in the theater is put on a mask. And in fact, you can say theater and performance is all about a mask. It's all about you, but it's also not you. It's about someone else, someone
creating
other
a different
than you.
image.
Creating something. It's kind of like it's the tension between I am me, but I am also not me. I'm someone else.
Wow.
Which is a bit of the magic of when someone becomes the character and you believe that character, there's a kind of magic because you know that it's just an actor. I mean, we're not stupid, right? We do realize there's an actor underneath that mask. But sometimes the mask comes alive and you see the mask smile, and in fact, it's just a mask, and the mask can't smile, it doesn't move.
Right.
But there's a way of playing it which allows the little bit of magic to come in. It's imaginary magic. It comes from the audience. Our imaginations are part of our lives. So it's a real element of who we are. It's not a non-existent thing. It's like everybody knows they have an imagination. They can imagine something happening. When people imagine together at the same time, then you have a very powerful experience of sharing. So that's the center, I would say, the basis of the appeal of theater, why people like to go to live theater.
The students that come and take this program and these courses, what is it they're wanting to accomplish? What do they leave with from here?
Well, that's a very interesting question because many people assume that because you're studying arts, you have no plan. Your parents are terrified because you're going to be working at Starbucks for the rest of your life.
Dressed as a clown.
Dressed as a clown, yeah, worse still. But that's actually not the case. There's an entrepreneurial side to the study of performance creation because remember, we're not training students to just go and get a job as an actor. We're actually training students to start at the ground with what are we going to do, how are we going to do it, where are we going to do it, and how are we going to get people to come and see it. So this is about a business. This is the same question that everybody has. How do we bring people in to what we do and to see what we do? And that's what we're training students to do. So they do learn how to compose performances, and there's actor training. They have to have that, otherwise you bring people in and you can't sustain their interest because you're not good enough at the acting or at the performance, let's say performance. But that's what we're giving them is training in putting together an event. How does the whole thing happen? Not just one piece of it, not just the actor's piece. We're teaching them how to create an event, how to bring people to it, how to market it, and how to do it as well. So it's very entrepreneurial.
I'm wondering too if that's just a perfect segue because something new here on campus and probably part of the next big thing for you is we actually have a location, a theater that is dedicated to the performing arts here.
It's still not 100% dedicated. It's still being used as a lecture theater, but we've completely renovated, well, not completely, we've done a huge renovation job on the inside of it, so now it looks like a theater. And what we're doing with this room is we're actually giving students the opportunity to run it. Most theaters at universities are run by staff technicians. The directors of the performances are faculty members, and the students are hired as actors. And the students also do some of the tech. In this variation, our version, the students do all the marketing, the publicity, they organize the performances, they perform sometimes as well. They work at the door, they do everything. They run it as a business. They're learning how to run the business of a venue.
Which is great, because the performances or the acts or the events that they bring up here is open to the public.
Oh yeah,
it's
oh,
real.
Yeah, this is what we're doing. We're actually engaging with the public. We're saying this is the space where we're going to train students, but we're also training students to get out in the community. We contact the community more than any other department on campus. We are out there all the time. We had 3 events this last weekend.
At the theater
Public
and outside.
events, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And if somebody wanted to find out what public events were going on, where would they
Where do they
go
look?
to?
Theater 26.
That's the name.
Yeah, Theater 26. Just Google Theater 26, and you'll find out what's on the calendar, what we've done so far, what we're doing in the future. So the whole story will be there.
We have about 30 seconds left. What's your hope and vision for the future?
Well, my hope and vision is that that the campus functions as a real hub in the community, so that people come here to use the facilities, to work with the people that are trained here, and that the people who are trained here are in the community. So we really have this campus as a hub, so that everything is intersecting here.
Wow.
And that we're connecting into the community with particularly the growing industry in the film business, gaming, online gaming, all that kind of stuff, animation. We're training students how to do that. The industry wants it to happen in the Valley, so that there's new business, new activity in the Valley. So we are hoping that this is for me, this is the next big thing, is how do we connect to that industry and really start to generate a profile for the campus and for the Valley.
Well, I think you're going to be able to do it. You're so enthusiastic, and I know that the students are rallying around this, and they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
And so I really encourage you to come and visit Theater 26.
Yep.
And check out some of the shows that are going on there. Thanks, Neil, for dropping by.
Rosemary, my pleasure.
And that wraps it up for this edition. I'm Rosemary Jean Thompson.